All right, this is part three. Thanks for joining. In this quick video, we're just going to go through Unity assets, how to manipulate them, move them around, prepare our scene for Onward gameplay. Okay, welcome back. This is part three. We're going to just make some minor adjustments to our Unity scene, or Onward scene. The purpose of this tutorial is to just get you familiar with basic Unity asset control, manipulation, adding, moving. If you're very familiar with Unity, you can skip part three. This will have no value to you. This is going to be very redundant. It's basic Unity stuff. So let's get started. So first thing I want to do is turn off fog. The reason this looks gray is because fog is on. I want to adjust that. You'll also be able to kind of poke around and look at some of the lighting settings that are available. So go to rendering, then lighting. That should pop up your lighting dashboard, and there's a lot of choices in here. I would recommend you play with those. I'm going to turn on, go to environment and turn off my fog. That's about all I'm going to do now. We'll be revisiting lighting later tutorial. All right, so now I'm going to look at from a top view down at my, and I'm going to make some changes. So the first area, there's an area that has a lot of work that needs to be done. Like the developer who assembled this scene kind of got lazy. First of all, there's a missing piece of floor here. Also, there's this fence just ends, like they just stopped. In order to fix that, I could just put some fence down there, which would enable users to walk down and be stopped. But I also noticed as I was walking around that this floor doesn't actually match. And so this floor and this floor are not the same height. And so at some point, the map changed altitudes. And the person who built this does like to use slopes, which can be a big pain in the butt, but you just work with them. So what I'm going to do as an alternative is I'm just going to cut the player, from using this section of the map, and then I don't have to fix a lot of things. The technique I'm going to use is I'm going to copy a piece of fence. I'm going to place it here. I'm going to copy another piece of fence and place it there. That way, if they walk over into this corner, they don't have to look at any ugliness, and then we can kind of rearrange some of our assets because the fence will keep them from thing. Also, we need to fix this gap. So let's start with that gap, for how this happened, but fine. So I'm going to select the floor that I want to copy. I'm going to hit Control C, then D. That's going to copy a new floor, and then I'm going to turn on snap, and hope that it'll just snap and line up. That's one of the techniques I usually, you can adjust the snap size here. So if you have an asset that you're working with, let's say a fence piece, and it's a specific length, and that specific length doesn't snap well together because it's not divisible by the snap distance. That's a bit of a pain, but there's a better method thanks to Beluga, who uh, showed me this tip, sent me a quick video to make sure I include it. So I'm going to do that now. So now I have this flooring fix. I'm comfortable with that. Flooring can be a real pain if you are fixing something after the fact. So if you're building a map from scratch, which I recommend, start with flooring. The first thing you'd want to do is just create all your roads and flooring so everything snaps together before you start adding buildings and doing other things. Because once you do flooring, you want to make sure that nothing overlaps. I'll show you why. It overlaps, and the user will get this flicker. And obviously, that's gonna be super annoying. We don't want that. All right, so let's go ahead and execute our plan. We're going to put a fence here across so that the user or the player can't go through here. I'm a programmer, so I use the word use. I'm going to copy Control C, Control V, make a copy of that. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees by putting it back to 0. Get a little bit of angle, and I'm going to bring this over here. Now, oftentimes, if you're working with fences or things that join together, you'll notice that one side has a pillar and the other side does not. Now, the idea is that you would join the non-pillar to the pillar side. So in this example, I'm going to want this side to be attached over here so that I have a nice clean transition. And I'm going to want the pillar to just disappear into the building. So I'm going to flip that one more time to 180. And now I'll be able to line that up. So let's just get a better angle. This and slide this over. So now this is where the snapping might work. And if it does, you're good. I'm going to show you the trick. Nice trick that's going to save you and would have saved me a ton of time with the map that I built. Appreciate the tip. So with the asset selected, you hold down the V as in Victor key. And now you'll notice as you hover around the asset, it picks all the different corners and vertices of the asset. So you pick the corner or vertice you want to match, and it'll snap it to the an asset as it gets near it. So let's take a look and see how that did. Really far in. All right, so here we go. Yeah, I'm not sure that that's working for me. This side, I'm going to fix the fence here. That's no problem. That's going to go away. I may want to just slide this forward some, and essentially they won't see this. Oh, it looks like the fence just have a corner. All right, so let's just see. I wanted to fix this. That's why. So here we go. We kind of screwed things up, made this look nice. Let's say that's how we want it. Now I got this fence I got to deal with. So I'm going to delete this corner fence, and it's always a strategy. It's kind of a puzzle. So I'm going to take the fence here that I no longer need. I'm going to use that to cover up this. That's going to come inherently with a flaw. So let's rotate that and get that fixed. Get this snapped into here. I'm just going to hit Control or just hold down the V. Grab this guy. Once I put my mouse over this object, it put together. Super helpful. I believe I built an entire map. All right, so now this guy's okay. If this was protruding through, I'm going to show you the scale tool. Now, be very careful using the scale tool because now this asset's different size than this asset. And if you even use it to an extreme, you'll start to distort the image. And that's no good. So that's not try to avoid scaling if possible. Sometimes you just need to. It's just the way it is. So it's not big enough. So I'm going to scale this out a little. Right again. That looks pretty good. I think we're done. Oh, we were going to go ahead and fix the other fence on the other side just for fun. Be another exercise. Pretty simple. Copy, Control C, Control V, paste. Let's get that back to 0. This one I'm not going to care as much about because the player's really not going to see it. So we can put that here completely out of their way, and then we don't have to worry about the details. They're not even going to probably see corner here. I can put this all the way up here. And I just got to be careful that if they can walk in the building that they don't see the fence as an example. So we would slide that over. The fact that it hangs off the edge is not going to matter. It depends on how particular you are. Where it is going to matter is when you do your map view from the top and the user sees the map, they're going to see this weird funky Xy thing. So that's entirely up to you. Now, all these additional assets out here, if you end up doing something like this, you can delete them. What they do is they provide some additional immersion. So as I'm a player and I'm down at this level and I'm running around playing, I see something other than just the sky. So without them, I see that. With them, it looks a little more immersive. And like these towers are not meant to be viewed up close, so that's why they're just kind of hanging out in space. There's no floor around them. They're just meant to increase the immersion, and that's fine. These assets, as long as they don't require a lot of draw time, and you may want to avoid round ones like this. You can see it's going to have a lot of extra uh, trees, uh, triangles. So, all right, let's close this video. So hopefully this got you a little familiar. I strongly encourage you to just play around a lot till playing around becomes very natural for you.